Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone will have a wonderful Shabbos. As we do every week, we take a moment to think about the entire Jewish people, especially those living in the land of Israel, especially those fighting on behalf of the people of Israel, the land of Israel. We continue to think about Israel as events continue to unfold and to daven that Hashem should protect and spread a canopy of peace over the entire land and country of Israel. We continue to daven for them, and we hope that everyone will be able to join us in Shul Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. We will daven together, we will sing together, we will be welcoming David Rotberg and two other Chazanim who will be joining us for the entire Shabbos, starting with Kabbalah Shabbos tonight. It will be an enjoyable, spirited, uplifting Kabbalah Shabbos. They'll daven Shacharis with Hallel, so please, if you wouldn't be there yet at that time, try to join us and be present. So there'll be even more energy and more inspiration in the room when we say Hallel tomorrow on Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, and they will continue to lead us throughout Musaf and the entire davening. This week's parshios are the two parshios Tazria and Metzora, and often it is a time when we pause to think about the very important value that we hold, the mitzvah and the prohibition against speaking lashon hara, speaking negatively about other people when there is no constructive reason to do so, even when the facts are true. And is connected to this week's parsha because Chazal had a tradition that saras, the skin malady that would affect a person, would specifically be a punishment in response to someone who speaks lashon hara. There's a medrash that many people cite, which explains and tells a story that one time there was a rochal, there was a peddler traveling through a town, and announced, "Me rotz likno samachaim, who wants to buy the elixir of life? I'm selling the elixir of life." And in that town, one of the shishas Rabbi Yanai lived, and when he heard this call, he went out to the peddler and said, "Tell me, what is the elixir of life? I would like to buy the elixir of life." And to him, the peddler responded, "Rabbi Yanai, you are a sage of the Torah. You have no need for this. You have your own elixir of life." And he had with him a book of Tehillim. He opened up the Tehillim to the Psukim. Mi ha'isha chafetz chayim, ohev yamim lirastov. Who is the one who desires life, who loves days and wants to see good? And this is the source of the name of the Sefer Chafetz Chaim on the laws of lashon hara. The person should guard their tongue against speaking negatively and their lips from speaking deceitfully. Stay away from anything negative. Go after the positive. Search after peace and that which is good. And to that, Rav Yanai responded, "What an incredible idea. All my days I've read these psukim, and yet I never understood the profundity of the simple meaning of these verses." And the question is, what exactly was the great insight of this peddler? Of course, okay, speaking lashon hara is a bad thing. He found a pasuk in Tehillim which says that. The pasuk basically says that explicitly. What was the great insight that Rav Yanai learned, and that thus we are to learn from this rochal, from this peddler? We'll return to answer that question, but I first cite a comment of the Sfas Emes in next week's parsha. The Sfas Emes explains that the basic symbolism of the skin malady, the blotch that would begin to cover the body of the Metzora, again, according to our tradition, after speaking lashon hara, as follows. The Sfas Emes explains that we all have an incredible light within us, chelak elokam yimal, a piece of the divine, and through the performance of mitzvos, through the study of the Torah, through davening, through using all of our faculties, especially our mouth, correctly, so then we let forth that light. However, when we use our different capabilities, the different parts of our bodies, especially our mouth, in a negative way, and specifically when we speak lashon hara, then just the opposite, then what happens? What are we doing? Then haguf mechasa haaras and hashama shebikirbo. We are blocking up those channels. We are covering up. We are putting this hard shell on us, and all of the holiness which inside of us cannot come out. In other words, when we speak lashon hara, it's not just that we are hurting someone else. We are hurting their name, their reputation. We are hurting their feelings. We are damaging relationships. No, we are also hurting ourselves. We are damaging ourselves. We are spiritually causing destruction within our own selves. And we can understand this on every level of the human personality, not just on a spiritual, metaphysical plane, but psychologically, socially, emotionally, that when we speak negatively about others, and when that comes from a place of jealousy or anger or a stingy eye, and we only see the bad in others, it's not just that that will hurt others, but it hurts ourselves. It is corrosive for ourselves. It strengthens all those negative attributes within ourselves. It makes us see the world in a bad way, and thus it makes us see ourselves in a more negative light. It makes our entire life experience less pleasant and more negative and filled with friction and contention. And that was the chiddush, perhaps, of the rochel that he taught Rav Yanai. The rochel saying, who wants to live a good life? Who wants to enjoy life? Who wants to connect to those things which are most holy and most positive and live life to the fullest? If you want to do that for your own benefit, then be careful with your tongue. Speak only positively about others. See the good in others. See the good in the world. And if you have such a positive attitude, if you push away all negative thoughts, if you push away unfair criticisms of other people, if you push away gossip and slander and those things don't exist in your life, and instead you only speak positive words, you see others in the world in a positive way, that will enhance your life. That is the elixir for your very life. And that was the chiddush of the rochel, and that was what Rav Yanai realized is such a profound insight into the mitzvah, the prohibition against lashon hara, and how to serve Hashem in positivity. And so these parshas of Tazria-Metzora, there's a fight within each of us between positivity and negativity always. And so let us use this time to remind ourselves to be more focused on this, to push aside negativity, to push aside the negativity that we perhaps see in other people, and to be more positive, to be more filled with light. And we do that because other people deserve it, because we should respect them and care for them and want the best for other people. But also the blessing of that is that ultimately that will be good for us. It will enhance our lives. It'll fill our lives with more light and more positivity. Mi ha'isha chafetz chaim. That is the secret, the elixir of life. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.